O Great Spirit, Namaste. Saints and sages of all times, of all places, Namaste. O ye powers that be of the air, the earth, fire, water, ether, Namaste. Ancestors of all the lineages to whom we attune, Namaste. Most beloved and precious Ishtadevata, in all of thy names, in all of thy forms, and in the formless reality, Namaste. As we come together in this meditation, may our time be blessed. May our journey be blessed. May we become an ever greater, wiser blessing unto all sentient beings. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Welcome to my heart. Welcome to the new moon in Gemini. We're here again. This time brings us an opportunity to answer the question of how do we find the truth in a noisy world. And boy, our world is really noisy today. Very loud, very chaotic. So, let us begin, as we often do. Once upon a yogi time. Once upon a yogi time, there was a young seeker. And he wanted to find the truth. She wanted to find the truth. And so they journeyed into the mountains to study with a great yogi. A wise yogi, all right? You know, that was the way it was. You had to go to the mountains. You had to go for a long journey to find a wise one back in the day. Walked and walked and walked and walked and walked. And he arrived at the hermitage, and the hermitage was at the top of a, if you will, the top of a mountain overlooking a valley. The next morning, the master greeted him, welcomed him, gave him some chai, gave him a place to eat, or sleep rather, little food to eat. And the next morning, the master comes out and he says, well, come. And he goes out and he takes him to the high place in the valley. The birds were singing in the valley. The master says, what do you hear? I hear birds singing. A few minutes later, a crow cried, caw, 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 comes back. What do you hear? There's a lot of birds singing, caw, caw, caw. Many birds, many voices. Master doesn't say anything. The wind rises up. The birds continue singing. And all of a sudden, the student notices, oh, beneath every caw, there's silence. Stillness. The master says, what do you hear now? Well, the birds are still singing. The wind is still moving. The water is moving. But I can hear the silence. Yes, this is true. Now wait a minute longer. The young man waits and hears caw, 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 caw. Is that one caw, one crow calling? Or is there a whole group of crows calling? What am I hearing? The master says, what are you hearing? Is it one voice? And that voice being echoed back again and again and again and again? Is it your voice? And you're listening to yourself again and again and again and again? Or is it the voice of many? The young man couldn't discern. He didn't know. And then he hears over here, he hears one little crow, a wise elder crow. Caw! And he could absorb himself in the silence. Now we're living in a very noisy world today. Our world is like a valley with a big echo chamber. You send something out, and it comes back 100,000 times in your voice or in someone else's voice. Whose voice is it? Is it your voice, duplicated, replicated, triplicated? Or are others mirroring back to you, or is the whole group calling out? The question of what you are hearing, what we are hearing, is a big question that we all have to ask and answer for ourselves. What is it that you're hearing in the world today? How do you learn? How do you pay attention? What do you do? You know, today the question is, how loud is the loudest voice? Who's screaming the loudest? There is an old saying that says, if you tell them the truth and they don't believe the truth, c'est la vie. It doesn't matter. The louder you say it, the more you say it, whatever you say, eventually they're going to believe that because you're saying it louder and louder and louder and more and more and more. Here we are faced with this new moon in Gemini. Gemini, the sign of the pillars, the sign of walking into the temple, the sign of the twins. We think twins are identical. Even identical twins do not always replicate the same thing. Now, the difficulty with the new moon in Gemini, the minor difficulty, is the desire to go this way and this way and this way and this way. Oh, so many choices, so many options. As long as I can communicate, I'm free. I can choose which options I wish to follow. But that's a problem. Spiritually, it's a problem. Life-wise, it's a problem. Health-wise, it's a problem. We need to be able, you and I, to discern what is the wisest path, the wisest action for each of us individually. I look out and I see you and I know, well, I don't know what the wisest path is for her or for him. She has to figure it out herself. I have to figure it out myself. He has to figure it out himself. We have to be able to choose the wisest, most harmonious path to walk, to accomplish what we want to accomplish in our lives, to find liberation, to find moksha, to find freedom, to find the blessings of life, to become a blessing in life, to find enlightenment, which means to become a part of life. Thus, we have to discern what is the echo coming back from the valley. Ah, what's coming back to you? Now, there's a little problem there, because with the calling out, if you will, being able to send your voice, your magnificent voice out into the world, what happens? Well, what happens is that the ego says, oh, they're all agreeing with me. The more people that agree with you, the more you think that it must be correct. That it must be truth. That it must be wisdom. Well, the ancient teachings say this is not true. This is not true. Just because a lot of people say it doesn't mean it's true. Just because a lot of people express it doesn't mean it's true. And so you and I need to be able to turn inward and to say, how do I hear this stillness? How do I hear the silence? How do I experience this? How do I turn inward and still my being into oneness, so that I see clearly, that I know clearly? Now you can say, well, what causes the mind to become so filled with chaos, so filled with this desiring? And the answer really often is, I know you're not going to want to hear this. I never wanted to hear it when Pranananda said it. It's the emotions. It's the fluctuation of the energy, the Kriya currents. They go from here to here to here to here. They go up and down, up and down. Single pointedness. So today, we're going to move into single pointedness. We're going to move to a time for just a few moments of stillness, of being able to hear and to see the truth of whatever it is that you're examining. You see, we're looking for wisdom in life, not data, wisdom. I visited someone recently, and they were very proudly showing their very, very, very large house. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful home they had created. But they were a collector of data. And every place in the house, every floor in the house had rooms, floor to ceiling, books, study classes, CDs, vinyl, audio, etc., etc., etc. All kinds of data. And I will freely admit to being drawn to study, as was my guru. But at some time, we must put down the acquisition, the thirst, the desire for the acquisition of data, and understand how we discern the truth, how to see the reality, how to live in the stillness, how to become part of the stillness, how to become one with the stillness. And this is the beautiful wisdom of Gemini, because Gemini's state of consciousness is, I communicate. I communicate. Not with the echo, not with the caw, caw, caw. No, no. That's not what it's saying. Oh, I'm writing. No, that's not what it's saying. I've got 1,000 books I've published. No, that's not what it's saying. I communicate. Oh, you and I, we communicate. Now, this is really a deep, deep, mystical, and most miraculous part of life. A child is born, a child of any species is born, and they have to learn the language of the species. But what they're learning is to form, through whatever way that they have to express sound, to take the very subtle states of consciousness that exist in the astral. They bring them down. As you see them, they bring them down into the earth plane. And to emanate through a ka, 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 or shanti, shanti, shanti. That state of consciousness in such a way that the first thing we think is, well, I want the other to be able to understand me. I want the other to be able to understand me. But oh, no. What you and I are seeking is not for the other to understand us, but for us, you, to be able to see and understand, what is this that you have incarnated into? What is life? To be able to see at the deepest level, at the clearest level, what you doing here? What's the lessons you wish to learn? What are you doing here? Why are you here? What thoughts are you thinking? What words are you speaking? What actions are you taking? How can you communicate with yourself? So the answer is very simple, and we're going to have a meditation. Not every thought that arises in your mind is true. Not everything that arises in your mind is true. Not every thought that arises in your mind has to be acted upon, right? Not everything, not every feeling, excuse me, that's not right. Not every emotion reveals reality. We think that because we, quote, feel something, it's really because you're emoting something. It's angular energy. It is not the truth. It does not have to be paid attention to. Now, this is important, all right? This is really important. Hard. Not every opinion deserves your attention. And you don't have to have an opinion about everything. It's not necessary for you to have an opinion about everything. And what does that say to you? Take this back to the whole concept of communicating. Take it to the broader sense. causes you and I to not see the truth. It's the filters, it's the opinions, it's our inability to communicate clearly, to hear the silence in what we're communicating. And, my beloved, it is skewed by the desire for approval. I want, the more people, the more, this is a crazy thing that lives in the world today. It's just nuts that there's these technology tools in which you can put your opinion out to the world. You can say your opinion to whoever you wish to say it to, and people can like it or dislike it and comment on it. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. But the most interesting part is that people collect likes. 1,000 people liked this. Oh, 2 people didn't like this. Now, really, spiritually, you have to think about that. That is really a very interesting phenomena that we have changed in our entire culture, our worldwide civilization, let us just say, because it's not just in one part of the world. We have changed, and someone, very smart person, I don't know who it was, but someone decided, a way to control people, a way to get them to want to follow my work, to do, to pay attention to me, to think what I'm saying is true, is to give them an opportunity to express their opinions. All they got to do is hit a little button and they like it. And if they really like it, they can hit a little heart. And if they don't like it, they can put a thumbs down. Wow. That tells you that we've entered into an environment in which the assumption is that you must have an opinion about everything. Don't waste your life energy having an opinion about everything. You don't need to like every post. You don't need to look at every post. You don't need to like everything or dislike everything. Every time you put your attention to something that you are saying, I'm going to like this, I'm going to do, you're taking your energy, your life energy. It's your prana, my love. Your prana, your life energy. You're feeding it, and you're letting it get sucked out into the world for naught, for no thing. Let it go. Now, so we have simple questions today. How do you move beyond gathering data, gathering information, to resting in wisdom? You have to turn into the silence. You must turn into the silence. You must discern. Learn to discern. Here's a simple practice. Somebody says to you, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you want? The answer is, I don't really have an opinion on that. I haven't put my mind to it, don't have an opinion on it. And then just be quiet. But here's the key. Here's the rub. Can you really do that? Can you say, I don't have an opinion about it? Haven't thought about it. Without your mind immediately wanting to fill that gap or feel that, what do you think about that? I'm going to get this wrong. There's some sports tournament that's going on. And, it's basketball in America. It's basketball that just finished up, and they just had a big tournament, and somebody won the other day. I don't know who it was. Somebody told me, and I just, okay. Now, but I was asked by somebody who really doesn't know me very well. The tournament's going on. Who do you want to win? Now, first of all, I didn't even know who was playing. And I just said, well, I don't really have an opinion about that. I don't really know. And immediately what happened was, and this is very interesting. Oh. And I wanted to say, well, who do you want to win? And I just kept quiet to see what would happen. And what happened is I got an explanation from the other person about who should win, who I should want to win, what my opinion should be. And I really, the next game is on it, blah, 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 blah. You should really be paying attention to that. That other person was not a bad person, and they're not bad. They were trying to convince me as if the world was going to change if I put my energy into supporting what they were supporting. And they were right. If I had taken my life energy and poured it into supporting their team, I would be pouring my life prana as you would be into supporting that, not into supporting your own enlightenment. You're taking the energy when you do that. When you're opining on something that really is not relevant to you, that is really none of your life business, if you will, but you're doing it because you want the approval of another, your life energy is like the great giant sucking vacuum. There goes the prana. Well, I wanted it here, but now it's up here. And then it's worrying about who's going to win whatever that thing is. Who's going to be first? Who's going to dominate? And so it is necessary to stop. The reflections for today, the 3 questions that I'm going to ask you to take with you. And in our meditation, we will ask them quietly and allow them to settle and to allow the wisdom to begin to flow. And the first is very, I think, vital today. That is to say, what voices occupy most of your attention right now? Whose voices are speaking to you now that you pay attention to? If you're with a young mother, sometimes a child gets to a certain age and they've learned japa, they've learned mantra. It's, mommy, 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 ma, 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 ma. And that's the only voice that you can hear for that period of time. It doesn't last, it changes. They see that others are equally as important as mom. And then they see others are more important than mom. But you need to ask ourselves, what voices occupy your attention right now? And then, what fears, or if you will, what desires are shaping your perception? Your fear is simply an emotional state in which what you want is not present at this time in your life. Or it is present and you're afraid you're going to lose it. So we need to say, what fears are shaping my perception at this time in my life? And then the last one that we will find in our meditation today is I hope, an awareness of when you become quiet, What is a truth that you know? For you do know. You can hear in the quiet. You can hear. The greatest obstacle to sitting down and being quiet and meditating is that your mind still acts like a child. And you give up. No. Just go back again and again and again and again and again to the center, to the quiet, to the breath. No stress, no strain, no worry. Just quiet. Go back to the breath. And let the deep, mystical wisdom of Gemini flow forth for us today, for you today, for me today. The ability to communicate from your highest being and allow that highest communication from all of life to flow into a single stream of self-awareness within you. One stream. Self-awareness. That's all. Awareness of life that you are a part of. Awareness of Indra's net that you are a part of. It's all you're looking for. It's everything. Do not let fear or desire for the approval of others or desire for your own approval. All right? You make a mistake, you goof, and you want approval for yourself. Let it go, let it go, let it go. And so we will go to meditate. We will have some silence. The questions will be asked, and you will allow the wisdom to flow forth from your mind's eye. And then, as we always do on these Sundays together, we will close our time together with meditative prayer, sending our spiritual energies to life, that life be returned to a state of balance, and that the needs of all beings will be met. It is an important thing that we do every week. I hope you do it more than once a week. I hope you do it every day. Let us meditate. I think I've said enough. Shanti. Namaste ji. Sit with your spine erect as you are comfortably able. Place your hands upon your thighs in the Om Mudra, the index finger and the thumb together, the hands cupped upward. Close your eyes. Focus your attention at the point between your eyes at the sun center. And turn your head to the left, exhaling twice. Bringing the head back to the center, begin to watch the breath. Use the sipping breath. Move the energy from the limbs of the body to the trunk of the body. From the trunk of the body, move the energy into the spinal column. From the base of the spine, move the energy up to the sun center. Now take that energy as a golden ball of light and move it out in front of you. Expand that golden light and sweep it around your entire being, moving counterclockwise. Do this 3 times so you are encased in golden light. Now expand that light and ascend. Above the room you're in, above the building. Ascend. Ascending to the high place of meditation. Enter the high place and find yourself in a comfortable meditation place, your sacred grove of meditation. Focusing at the sun center. Watch your breath. Begin to just watch the inhalation and exhalation. Keep your attention focused at the sun center. On the next inhalation, allow your inner ear to hear exhaling here. Hear the Om on the inhalation and the Om on the exhalation. And at the hold, hear the silence. If your mind wanders, bring it back to the Om, riding upon the breath. The Om riding on the inhalation, the silence at the hold, the Om riding on the exhalation, the silence at the hold. Letting the breath breathe itself. Now let go of the breath. And in the high place, focus your attention at the sun center. In the quiet, allow your mind to become a mirror. And as each question is asked, gently observe what your mind reveals. What voices occupy most of my attention at this time? No judgment. What voices occupy most of my attention at this time? Take the awareness that arises, shine a light on it without judgment. And place it aside, that you might come back to it to discern what Kriya to take. Focusing again at the mind's eye. What fears or desires are shaping my perceptions? Take the awarenesses that come to your mind. Accept them. You don't have to like them. Just see them. Are they true? Do you need to hold on to them? Now in your mind's eye, in this high place, you see in front of you, from the highest place, a waterfall of light. Gathering up those fears, those desires, gathering up those voices. Place them in the bag that appears before you. They're all in a little bag, big bag if you will. Walk into the light. The bag becomes a ball of light. You take it with you. Into the waterfall. Hold it in front of you. Feel the waterfall of light pouring down upon these fears, these desires, these voices. Allowing this ball of light that is filled with these to be absorbed into the light. The sticky, gluey, dark colors, purified, cleansed. The fear transformed. The voices silent. The desires dissolved. Stand in the light. Hear the silence. Become one with the silence. Breathe in the silence. Allow the light to pour through you. Feel the wisdom flowing forth. O ye O ye powers that be, may we cultivate minds that are clear. May we cultivate hearts with sincerity. May discernment flow forth from all sides, that we might recognize reality, the reality, that we might recognize truth. O ye powers that be, bless us again and again and again, that we might hear the still voice lying deep within each of us. Walking forth from the waterfall of light, staying in the high place of meditation. O ye powers that be, as we send forth our meditative energies, we ask that thou join with us, that the karma of all beings upon the earth be softened, thou knowest better than we that which is needed here. May all of the karmic blessings and all of the karmic lessons that each soul finds through its incarnation here be softened, be harmonious, be eased. We know that there's some difficult karmas. May all karmas be softened. As we chant the Om Shanti mantra, feel the radiant light of bliss pouring forth from your sun center, from the sun center of your Ishta, from all the powers that be. Feel it pouring forth around the earth, upon the earth, within the earth. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. 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 Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings in all realms be abundantly blessed. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste, Namaskar, Namaste Ji, Namaskar. Thank you for the blessings of your meditative energy, for the blessings of your presence. May we hold these feeling states with us as we walk through these next moments. May you hear and see and know the truth. May it guide you. May it soften your karma. And may you continue to be an ever greater blessing to all of those who enter your aura. Namaste. I am deeply grateful to share this time with you.